This is Father Ken Lau, and welcome to the new episode of the Mission Possible series. If we could pick a feast day for all the evangelists, I think we should really pick May 31st, which is Our Lady's Visitation. And I'm reading this from the wordonfire.org website, the article Mary's Visitation as a Model for Evangelists, written by Father Billy Swan. And he wrote that because the story connects us to our Blessed Mother, who was the first to share the good news about her Son, and who teaches us how to evangelize by presence, action, and word. First of all is action. Mary is the first evangelist because she carries within her the presence of Christ. Okay? That's why she's called Theotokos, which means the God bearer. So long before St. Paul declared in Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, "It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me." And the truth of his words were seen in Mary, in whom Christ was alive and living. So Mary reminds us that mission begins not in action and words, but by bearing Christ to others within ourselves as living tabernacles. Okay, so when we receive Jesus in the Eucharist, we become like living tabernacles. And many times when we're evangelizing, we're focusing first on what to say and what to do. But first, we're called to be Christ bearers, carrying around the real presence of Christ. Saint Therese of Lisieux once said this: "Never have I heard him speak, but I felt that he is within me at each moment. He is guiding and inspiring me with what I must say and do." So the second is action. Mary teaches us to evangelize by action. So it was the presence of the divine word within Mary that inspired her to go in haste and visit her cousin Elizabeth, who was also with child. Being the living tabernacle of Christ's presence led to her embarking on an adventure and leaving the safety of her home and to travel from Nazareth to a remote place outside Jerusalem. So we're also called to leave the safety of familiar environments. We're called to leave our comfort zones by engaging our faith with friends and family and the culture of our time. Of course, this is scary, but that's the nature of the mission. Okay? The fear we feel is an invitation to a greater trust and asking the Holy Spirit to grant in your servants to speak your word with all boldness. Pope Francis once said that we are called to be a church which goes forth, who takes the first step, who gets involved by word and deed in people's daily lives, supported standing by people at every step of the way. So that's from the encyclical, The Joy of the Gospel. And the third thing is, and then Mary speaks. Her words flow from the Word made flesh within her and her gift of deep faith. So whatever we say comes from a place of humility as we seek every opportunity to proclaim the greatness of the Lord. So it is not about our glory, but God's glory and also His kingdom. And the second thing is we speak as believers whose lives have been touched by God's transforming goodness and joy. For the Almighty has done great things for me. Holy is His name. That's what Mary said. So everything we say exhibits a desire to share that joy so that others can know it too. So I hope we see Our Lady's visitation to her cousin Elizabeth as the feast day of all evangelists. So I hope we get inspired by the great example of Mary as she evangelizes by presence, action, and also words. God bless. Living Saint, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, we trust in you.